Reports are swirling that the post-credits scene in Captain America 4 will drop a massive hint toward the World War Hulk. Multiple sources, including reliable insiders like Daniel Rieckmann, are backing this up. According to Rieckmann, Marvel made some major changes to the ending of the upcoming Cap America to set the stage for an even bigger event. Recent test screenings for two different versions of the movie both got pretty bad reviews from viewers, so now the studio is scrambling to fix the most critical issues. And as usual, after those test screenings, the entire plot leaked online, with multiple insiders confirming the details. Fair warning, there are big spoilers ahead. In Brave New World, we're going to see several characters from the Hulk lore making an appearance. One of the main villains is none other than the Leader, played once again by Tim Blake. He, who originally popped up way back in 2008, returns to MCU after a whopping 17 years. But this time, Leader will look much more comic accurate. So expect that oversized head and grotesquely enlarged brain, along with greenish skin, all thanks to being exposed to Banner's blood. This isn't just a minor cameo or throwaway reference either. Marvel's clearly positioning the World War Hulk storyline as the next massive event, and bringing Leader back in such a big way is just the beginning. Considering how Marvel loves to tease future projects, this post-credits scene might just be the spark that kicks off one of their biggest stories yet. Also, Harrison Ford's President Ross is reportedly going to suffer from a terminal illness and will turn to the Leader for help, but the path to survival comes at a steep price. In the end, Leader transforms Ross into the Red Hulk, and that's not all. Recent reports suggest that Brave New World will also introduce Amadeus Cho, played by Logan Kim. Comic fans already know that he is destined to become the new Hulk. In the final battle of Cap America 4, Sam will face off against the Red Hulk, who's under the control of the Leader. After their defeat, both villains end up locked away in the raft. In the post-credits scene, Sam visits Leader in prison, where he mentions that Hulk's DNA has been passed on to Amadeus Cho. Leader ominously warns that something big and terrifying is on the horizon, to which Sam replies that he'll be ready. Also, let's not forget about Abomination, who's been popping up more frequently in MCU. Tim Roth himself has even expressed interest in working with Marvel again, which feels like a not-so-subtle hint that we haven't seen the last of him. And then there's Hulk's son named Scar, who was introduced in She-Hulk. He's almost certainly going to be a part of any future crossover event. The big question remains, will the World War Hulk storyline get its own standalone movie? It seems like everything hinges on the box office performance of Captain America 4, and analysts are already predicting a flop. With a budget that ballooned to nearly $400 million after all the reshoots, it's a steep hill to climb. Still, the producers are laying the groundwork for World War Hulk, but Marvel Studios still doesn't fully own the rights to Hulk, which means they can only use him in cameos or crossovers. That's where World War Hulk comes in as the perfect bureaucratic loophole for Disney to get Mark Ruffalo back on the big screen. Since the movie would feature multiple Gamma monsters, it technically qualifies as a crossover, giving them the green light to include Hulk without breaking any licensing rules. Plus, the presence of these other Gamma-fueled characters amps up the scale and epic nature of the whole thing. Initially, director Louis Leterrier, who helmed The Incredible Hulk starring Edward Norton, was set to bring his version of World War Hulk to life. Marvel even gave the sequel a green light back in the day, but weak box office numbers and internal conflicts derailed those plans. Director later revealed in interviews that he wanted to explore multiple versions of Hulk in the second movie, including the gray and red. His vision was to dive deeper into the character's complexity, keeping Hulk's primal rage intact, while also developing the smarter, more thoughtful side of the character. He admitted that with access to Hulk's consciousness, the possibilities were fascinating, and that was the direction he wanted to take the story. Also, Edward Norton originally had big plans for a Hulk sequel. He signed a 2-film deal not just for his acting skills, but also because of his talent as a screenwriter. Norton was a genuine fan of comic books and was determined to take the character in a darker direction. The ending of The Incredible Hulk was deliberately ambiguous, leaving viewers wondering whether Banner had gained control over his transformations or not. But after Edward was recast, the role went to Mark Ruffalo. In the first two Avengers, Hulk was portrayed as an uncontrollable and dangerous force. However, starting with the third Thor, he underwent a massive shift, becoming more comedic and childlike. By the time we got to Endgame, he had fully transformed into Professor Hulk, a move that sparked backlash among fans. Many felt that this version stripped Hulk of his core traits, his raw physical power, unbridled rage, and lust for destruction. A lot of fans believe Ruffalo himself contributed to this shift, as Marvel gave him creative freedom in shaping Hulk's evolution. But the result for many was a watered-down version of the character that no longer matched the brutal powerhouse from the comics. However, World War Hulk could be the perfect chance to fix all of that. With the growing number of Gamma-powered monsters already in MCU, the idea of a massive crossover featuring them is not just plausible, it's overdue. do. The stage is set for a much-needed course correction that could bring Hulk back to his raw glory. No Way Home became an absolute hit and a cultural phenomenon. It feels like we may never experience such emotions in theaters again. However, now that Marvel is fully embracing the concept of multiverse, they could easily make World War Hulk featuring not just new characters but also bringing back Eric Bana and Edward Norton. This could be a unique Hulkverse, and we shouldn't underestimate the potential of such a project. A crossover like this would undoubtedly rake in big box office numbers. Subscribe.